Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, June 22nd, 2017. I'm Keith Tebow. Tonight we discuss the retirement of the director of the Fall River Women's Center. We give details about an upcoming bicycle helmet giveaway at Britland Park and information about an upcoming family concert sponsored by the Fall River Public Library. But first, let's check out the news headlines of the week. Let's bring in Will Richmond, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Will, how are you?
I'm good, Keith. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's start with a big discussion we actually had last week. It's the end of June. That means the Fall River City Council needs to finalize the fiscal year 2018 budget. It held a couple of hearings over the past week, actually 3 in the past week. One last Thursday, one on Monday, and one last night on Wednesday evening. And there's a lot of questions the City Council has for the administration on a number of areas. And thus far, they have not officially voted on the budget for fiscal year 2018. They still have a little over a week to do so. Fiscal year ends on June 30th. Will, what are some of the items and bones of contention, if you will, that the council has with the mayor's proposal?
Well, one of the biggest item that seems to be sticking with a lot of councilors is the issue of the revenues that are expected to come into the city next year. One of those numbers included in that revenue is an increase in the excise tax related to motor vehicles. So, you know, the council has been going back and forth with the administration's finance team trying to get more information on that. You know, one of the aspects of this is that part of it is that there is a bit of a sticker shock number within the budget. I believe it's a 14% increase in those excise tax revenues. But part of that is because, from my understanding, it's a year-over-year increase. So it's the amount that was budgeted at this time last year for excise tax. It's a 14% increase over that, but it's not quite a 14% increase over what has been brought in this year. So,
Got it.
So the number may have been underestimated a year ago, but as is often the case with budgets, you know, numbers they fluctuate. You know, a budget is pretty much just a spending plan. It's not a inset number beyond that sort of bottom line. So, you know, there's some questions and answers going on here, but the revenue issue seems to be one of the biggest sticking points amongst group of the councilors.
Well, I know when you look at something like the excise tax for vehicles here in the Commonwealth, it is a flat rate per thousand. I believe it's still $25 per $1,000 valuation on a vehicle. Will, is that still the case?
I'm not certain about that myself. So
yeah, I thought it was. I know in Rhode Island it actually fluctuates by the individual community. Cities and towns have different rates. In Massachusetts, I believe there is one flat rate. So to have that type of an increase, you would need to have two things, one of two things or both things happen. Either there are more physical vehicles within the city of Fall River, raising that number, or the value of those vehicles have gone up in such a way to make up that revenue. I know there's also some concerns with some of the city councilors concerning the potential savings that the city has or has not realized with the privatization of trash. I know that came up, I believe, last night.
Yeah, that continues to be a sticking point as well. Certainly, there were some expectations laid out, you know, at this time last year as the mayor began pitching the concept of privatization of the trash services. So, you know, at that point, he made some projections. Whether or not we've hit those numbers, I think that's being determined. You know, I know that some of the expected services that would come from privatization and freeing up DPW workers to do other jobs hasn't come to fruition like the mayor had initially proposed. And there is some talk about the reasons behind that. So yeah, privatization still remains an issue, and one of those things that councilors are questioning the mayor's administration about.
One good budget item of sorts that came out last night was the council had the opportunity to speak with the school department and the superintendent of schools, Matt Malone, to talk about the school department budget. Even though the city council can't do much with the school department budget, overall they seem pleased with the amount of the school department spending for the coming year, especially when it comes to net school spending and the like. So that's a positive.
Yeah, it appears, the superintendent made his pitch promising that class sizes would be able to go down because of this extra funding, which is a positive and something that has been sought for a while now in the city school system. So certainly that part of the budget seemed to have gone through pretty easily after the traditional question and answer session, and at least that part of the budget is moving forward, while the municipal side still has some deliberations to come.
All right, let's continue to talk about what's up next. I believe the council has another meeting on this coming Tuesday. Is that going to be the completion of their hearings and maybe a vote on the budget?
Well, we also are starting to hear this morning that they might be scheduling one for Friday night as well.
Okay.
Not Friday night, Monday night.
Okay.
Getting ahead of myself a little. So I'm not sure if that has been officially posted yet or not, but yeah, we're hearing there's an expectation one will be held Monday night as well. Certainly, as you mentioned before, the fiscal year ends on the last day of June, so either a decision has to be made or some alternative plans have to be determined as we head towards July 1st.
Yes, the infamous 1/12 budget, as we hear on all levels, statewide, federally, and the city. Okay, we'll follow up and probably have, hopefully, next week at this time, we may have an official city budget, and we can talk about some of the specifics as we head forward next week. Today, the city of Fall River officially awarded a bid to sell the King Phillip Mill in the south end of Fall River. We had talked about this issue a number of times, that dilapidated mill in the south end near Cook Pond was the city was looking to get a bid of upwards of over $500,000 to recoup some of the back taxes that is owed on the building. And there was only one developer who qualified for the bid. Bid was opened today, and the city got a lot less than what it anticipated, only $110,000. The individual who bought the property, Paramount Development Group Corporation of Chelmsford, Mass., Mr. Richard DeRosas, and definitely not good news for the city in terms of recouping some of that tax money.
Yeah, certainly if you were looking for the action of a reality TV show auction, this was not the place to be.
No.
Yeah, so as the one bidder, rather than the number going up during the auction, it was going down until he sort of met the price he was willing to pay. The lone bidder, there was a bit of a pre-qualification process that included taking a tour of the site, presenting your plans to the South End Neighborhood Association. Mr. DeRosas was the only bidder who completed that entire process, and he's now moving forward. He had actually presented his plans to the South End Neighborhood Association in early May as well. So, they were familiar with his plan already, and yeah, they had hoped to collect $585,000 to cover the back taxes owed on the site. That doesn't seem to be happening, but at the very least, this building should be getting back on the city's tax rolls sooner than later for a change.
Yeah, and also dealing with all the potential public safety issues around that facility. And Mr. DeRosa had told, as you said, met with South End residents last month, and he's looking at a project of upwards of $30 million in that area. That would include approximately 90 market rate apartments, rentals in that space. So we'll see how that pans out. So that's all good if that can revitalize that part of the city, even though the city may be not looking at getting its back taxes, but as you said, it'll be back on the tax rolls, and the city will be making some revenue on the new project there going forward. All right, Will, what's coming up at the Herald over the next few days?
Sure. This weekend we will be continuing our How We Work series with a look at how the city's high schools are sort of adapting their vocational programs to meet the jobs of the future, and kind of prepare kids that may not be going on to college for the new jobs that are coming out, rather than some of the traditional jobs that the city has seen. So that will be in Sunday's paper.
All right, well, sounds good. You're on vacation next week, as I understand it. Make sure you use the high SPF suntan wherever you go, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care.
All right, have a good weekend, Keith.
Thanks. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Hades. Hades, a 3-year-old pit bull terrier. As you can see, he's all black. Very small, but he is certainly muscular. People have been turned off by his cage presence, but he's actually a very nice dog. But he has one of those pit voices where it's all, what's the right way to put it? Gargly, I guess I could say. But he's a very nice dog. He was actually a surrender. We know that he lived with kids previously. He's actually very good with kids. Good with other dogs. But like I said, yeah, people have just been a little bit intimidated by him. But he's a very nice dog, aren't you, Hades? Alright, so this is Kitty. Kitty's an 8-year-old calico cat. A very nice girl, but she probably do best in a quieter household. She can sometimes get a little bit spooked. Right now, you might be able to tell as you're watching. She's a little bit uneasy, but that's okay. It's okay. Just do this. Yeah, see, it's okay. She doesn't do. I guess you could say she doesn't do well with all other cats. It might be a better idea if she went to a home without other cats. Otherwise, we might want to, have them meet beforehand and see how they'll do together. But as far as with people, she's a very nice cat, and as you can tell from the footage, she's very pretty too. All right, Kitty. So if you want to come meet her, you can come on down to Forever Paws Animal Shelter. We're here at 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Welcome back. After 40 years as an advocate for victims of domestic violence, the director of the Women's Center for the Stanley Street Substance Abuse and Treatment Center, STAR, will retire on June 30th. In a recent interview, Dale Brown says she has taken her position in helping women deal with domestic violence as far as she can, and the reins will now be turned over to Mary Beth Trurin of New Hope in Attleboro. Weather permitting, a bicycle helmet giveaway will take place at Britland Park this Saturday. Active Healthy Living Coordinator for Mass in Motion, Janice Veloso, has the details.
Mass in Motion Fall River, along with the Friends of the Quickwisham River Rail Trail and Bike Fall River, will be hosting a bicycle helmet giveaway. So these are some of the helmets that we have. We do have other colors, a few other colors. We also have BMX helmets for the kids who like to ride dirt bikes. But we will be there, and we will be doing small bicycle repairs, so simple bicycle repairs. So they'll be tuning up the bikes, aligning the handlebars, the seats, checking out the brakes, tires. Bike Fall River will be doing that, and that will be from 10 o'clock in the morning till noontime at Britland Park, right behind the police station over near the dirt track. And follow the signs, Mass in Motion Fall River signs to where we'll be.
Veloso describes the types of helmets that will be available.
These are Bell helmets, but it depends on the type of helmet. This just happens to be a Bell helmet, but they're all certified helmets for safety. We were able to fit kids from about 7 to 15. We do have a few adult helmets. At this time, we don't have any smaller helmets for kids like 5 and under. We don't have any of those helmets, but you must bring a scooter, a bicycle, or a skateboard in order to receive your helmet.
A fundraiser to help tend the community garden on North 7th Street in Fall River is being held by the Bank Street Neighborhood Association on June 30th. That association started the garden last year. Construction materials back then were donated by Lowe's, and many volunteers gathered to construct and plant the beds with a variety of vegetable seeds. Now, Association President Natalie Mello tells FRCmedia News that the monies from the upcoming fundraiser will help with the educational aspects associated with the community garden.
The birdhouses, we have some kids that painted from CD Rec, the birdhouses. If you look at that one, that came from CFC, the community, Citizen for Citizen. The children had an adult build it with them, and all their names are signed on it. So when they drive by, they can see it, and hopefully there will be birds when they come, and eggs, so they can see how precious it is. We could teach these kids that it's important to respect animals. It's important to respect. If you see an egg somewhere, don't don't hurt it because there could be a baby in there for the mother, and then she's probably looking for it. Maybe we can put a glove on and put it back in the birdhouse. So we're trying to educate the kids on all these little things that really mean a lot that we take for granted.
We'll take a break and have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Fall River Career Center. Paralegal, South Coastal County's Legal Services, located at 275 Martine Street, is in need of a full-time paralegal to provide civil legal aid to low-income families and elders. Excellent communication and computer skills required for intensive telephone work and interviewing applicants and for legal assistance. Job number 915-7458. Nurse Practitioner. CVS Health, located at 392 Davall Street, is seeking a full-time nurse practitioner to provide accurate assessment, diagnosis, and treatment of common family illnesses for patients over 24 months. Job number 915-5627. Bilingual Dental Receptionist. Dental Dreams, located at 45 Mariano Bishop Boulevard, is looking for a full-time bilingual dental receptionist, able to work a variety of shifts answering phones, scheduling appointments, and collect payments, co-payments, and deductibles. Job number 915-7543. Santander Bank, located at 430 William S. Canning Boulevard, is looking to fulfill the following positions. Branch Manager, job number 915-6185. Personal Banking Representative, job number 915-5282. Bank Teller, job number 912-8004. Customer Relations Representative, job number 912-9309. For more information on these or other positions, visit FRCmedianews.org or call the Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
The summer kickoff of activities at the Fall River Public Library starts with the Toe Jam Puppet Band concert to take place on the lawn of the North Main Street property. Director of Children's Services David Mello says that musician Roger Tinkwell will be on hand on the front lawn playing a variety of instruments from around the world.
He's a very engaging performer. He likes questions being asked, and he loves sharing his knowledge of music and his knowledge of travel with the kids.
The family concert will be held on July 10th, beginning at 11 a.m. That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. and online at our website at frcmedianews.org. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Chibo. Enjoy the summer weather. We'll talk to you next week.